6 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good evening, everybody. Mark Klein hanging out with you on another Long Island Blues Warehouse. Welcome to the world-renowned EKO Studios, Deer Park, New York. Every week on this stage, we like to bring you a live new band to perform for you, the viewers at home, and a little bit for us in here in the studio, because we just enjoy the entertainment that Long Island has to offer. You know what I mean, Ralph? I'm glad you agree with me, my man. This week's featured artist, we have Long Island's own Half Step. We're going to start with Scott BARDOLD, rhythm, guitar, and vocals. How you doing, Scott?
I'm good. Yourself?
Welcome to the show, my man.
Thanks for having us.
First-timers in here, and we're glad to have you people on board, contributing what I'm guessing in advance will be another kick-ass show.
I'm hoping for it.
I know it's going to be, so I'm a little more positive on that, I think, than you are. And I'll just stay with me, man. I'll show you the way. We're about live entertainment, Scott. Let's jump into one immediately. We'll come back and chat with you fine players. What are we doing first?
It's a traditional song called Beat It On Down the Line.
You good to go?
We're good to go.
Right here on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, please say hello to Half Step.
Well, this job I've got is just a little too hard. Oh, I'm running out of money, Lord, I need more pay. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, Lord, I'm gonna pack my bags. I'm gonna beat it on down the line. I'm going down the line, 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 going down the line. Yes, I'm going down the line, going down the line, going down the line, going down the line. Beat it on down the line. Yes, and I'll be waiting at the station, Lord, when that train pulls on by. Oh, I'm going back where I belong. Yes, and I'm going back to that same old used to be. Well, down in Joe Brown's coal mine. Said coal mine, coal mine, woo, coal mine, coal mine. Said coal mine, coal mine. Hey, yeah, coal mine, coal mine. Hey, yeah, coal mine, coal mine. Hey, yeah, coal mine. Well, down in Joe Brown's coal mine. Yes, I'm going back to that shack way down across the railroad track. Oh, that's where I think I belong. Because I've got a sweet love waiting there for me. And that's where I'm gonna make my happy home. I said happy home, happy home. I said happy home. I said a happy home, happy home. Said a happy home, happy home, happy home. Hey yeah, happy home. That's where I'm gonna make my happy home.
Great job. This week's featured artist, Half Step. A lot of fun. Let's start with you, Scott BARDOLD, rhythm, guitar, and vocals. Nice to see you, my man.
Thanks for having me
What a
here.
great project, man. What a great, fun project.
Yeah, it took 7 years to get to this level, and you know, dragging this band through the mud and the muck to get to play with these guys is quite an honor.
Let's start with you. Let's talk about some history regards to what you do, growing up into the fine musician you are. Did you start as a young guy?
No, started at 19.
19?
19.
Why so late in life?
I was a jock in high school and
Okay.
played a lot of sports, and then, you know, started to go see the Dead shows and was motivated to want to be able to do that on some level and play guitar. So
Late teens for you, huh?
Got a late start.
So guitar, you picked up at age 19. You're taking lessons.
You know, messed around for a number of years and then got serious probably back in September of 2001 when I reevaluated a lot of things. Really started to want to learn how to play guitar properly. So
Let's talk about what you were doing early, mid-20s musically. Were you involved in projects?
No,
Just learning the craft?
just learning and always aspiring to find a band of this caliber. It was always somewhere in my head I knew I could do it. And
Were you involved in any other type of live music before this project?
no, it's
7
my
years?
first band.
7 years ago, huh?
Yeah.
Great start, my man. Hey, you know what? We've had musicians that started age 2 and 3. We've had guys that started in their late 20s. So I would have taken you for the guy that started a lot earlier in life based on the way you handle yourself musically. But
thank you.
phenomenal start, my man. Phenomenal
lot.
start. Let's jump into another tune. We'll come back and talk to some of these other fine players. What are we doing next?
We're going to do a song called West L.A. Fade Away.
You good to go? Once again, on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with Half Step.
Looking for a chateau, 21 rooms, but one will do. Looking for a chateau, 21 rooms, but one will do. I don't wanna buy it, I just wanna use it for an hour or two. Made an old mistake, walking down the streets today. Made an old mistake, walking down the street today. Didn't want to be mean about it, but I didn't have one good word to say. Well, West LA fade away. West LA fade away. Big red light on the highway, red light on the Speedway. Had a steady job, holding items for the mall. Had a steady job, holding items for the mall. Pay was pathetic, it's a shame those Need a West LA girl. I already know what I need to know. Need a West LA girl. I already know what I need to know. Name, address, and phone number. Oh, just got far to go. Well, West LA fade away. West LA fade away. Big red light on the highway. Red light on the freeway. Looking for a shadow. 21 rules, what one will do. Looking for a shadow. 21 rules, what one will do. I don't want to rent it. I just want to use it for a minute or two. Well, West LA fade away. West LA fade away. Red light on the highway. Big green light on the speedway. Little red light on the highway. Big red light on the speedway. Well, little red light on the highway, big green light on the speedway.
Hey there, this is Mark Green from WUSB in Stony Brook, and you're listening to the Long Island Blues Warehouse.
Woke up this morning, felt around for my shoes. It's when I knew I had them walking blues. I woke up this morning, looked around, felt around for my shoes. That's when I knew I had them mean old walking blues. Feel most like blowing my own lonesome horn. Woke up this morning, my little bird had flown. I wanna leave my old lonesome home. Woke up this morning, my little bird had flown. Little bird had flown. I've ever had. Leave it in the morning if I have to. Rob you blind. Well, I've been mistreated and I don't mind dying on one of these. Even if I have to rob you blind. Well, I've been mistreated and I don't mind dying. No, don't mind dying. Don't mind dying. From her head down to her toes, breaking on the dollar most anywhere she goes. She got a lead from her head down to her toes, breaking on the dollar most anywhere she goes. Anywhere she goes. When I woke up this morning, felt around for my shoes. Oh, babe, I knew I had them walking blues. I woke up this morning, looked around, felt around for my shoes. That's when I knew I had them mean old walking blues. Walking blues. Walking blues. Walking blues. Walking blues. Walking blue, walking blue.
Oh, yeah. Let's grab Tom Sanfilippo if he'll head on up to his mic. How'd I do in that name pronunciation?
It was good, Mark.
Almost there, right?
Learn it, you'll get it
Been
good.
practicing it for a week, and I'm almost there, I think. It's good to see you, Tom. Welcome to the show, my man.
Thanks
Let's
so
talk about the history. Let's talk about when you began musically. Earlier than your late teens, I'm guessing.
Yes, 8 years old.
You started at age 8.
8 years old.
What was the influence for you to pick up a guitar and do your thing?
I grew up in a house of Beatle fans. So mom, aunt, dad.
That's what was playing in the
older
house when
sister.
you were growing up.
Yeah, yeah. Then saw Hard Day's Night and picked it up.
Wanted to do it.
Like a lot of people, I'm sure.
More than that, even. More than that. So are you self-taught? You taking lessons at this age?
Mainly self-taught, yeah. I took bass lessons as a kid. Played bass guitar for a number of years. And like Scott, I saw my first Dead show as a teenager and gravitated to Garcia and just kind of kept my eye on that style and just developed it on my own. And throughout the years, though, I've kind of looked to other influences, but Garcia's been a mainstay.
Hell of a job with that growth in you, I see, my man.
Thank you.
Let's talk about things you were doing before Half Step. Were you involved in school projects and things of that nature?
Yeah. Well, I was in a band for 20 years with the same bunch of cats, from age 13 or 14 till we were like 30 something.
One of those cats you're talking about might
One
be
of those cats still scratches on my back door. This is Doc TREIBETZ. We go back to grade school together, and we were in a couple of original bands in the 80s. You might have heard of the Underdogs, and then later on a band called Wide Awake.
Wide Awake, I've heard.
Yes.
You guys were in the Wide Awake thing, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
How long did that
Ed
project-
Ryan and Dave Diamond. And
Sure. How long did that project last?
about 5 years.
That had a 5-year run, that band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that name out there, man, in the circuit. Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
and we were
cool.
doing grunge, alternative rock. You know, a bunch of Deadheads playing that, so it was a lot of fun.
How long have you and Doc been involved in the Half Step project? You guys start in the...
Well, it's 2 years for me.
Okay.
Scott recruited me 2 years ago, and Doc has been about a year.
Now, you go back since you're this high with Doc. How come Doc came in a year after you?
Well, we needed a keyboardist at the time, and I go.
Was he involved in something else
Well, he's
when you got involved?
Why don't you ask him that?
We'll do
No,
that.
as far as Doc Doc's always been my right-hand man as a friend and as a musician, and we've always worked in projects throughout the
Got
years.
some nice history together. Very cool. Let's do that now. Let's grab Doc TREIBETZ, if he'll head on up to your mic, and have a quick chat with us. Scott, Doc TREIBETZ on the keys. How are you, Scott?
What's happening?
Nice to see you.
How's it going?
So you've got some history with Mr. San Filippo.
Yep.
I need an excuse to say your last name again.
Yep. San Filippo. Still can't spell it.
So you guys were great school buddies.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
were you involved in school projects together back in those early days?
We were in rival bands at around 13 or 14, but eventually we started jamming together into progressive rock and the Grateful Dead and all sorts of stuff. So we were kindred spirits, and it was
Built
just
a bit of a
inevitable.
friendship and just
Absolutely.
stuck it out all these years together in different things.
Absolutely. And our high school is a great culture of music, a lot of great musicians. So it's a lot of parties happening that we could play at.
There
Everybody
always
was-
is, my
was
man.
friends,
There
yeah.
always is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the history with you with the keys. When did you begin on the keys?
Around 9 or 10, maybe around the same time as Tommy. You know, that age. Got into the piano.
What got you involved in the piano back then?
I think my dad had one of those little organs that had the buttons for chords.
Okay.
And the books that went with them, and I used to be into doing that. And I think what happened was my dad put a big deposit in the bank, and in those days they would give you like a toaster or a Cadillac. We got a piano. And that's how it happened. I think I would have gotten into anyway, but that's how it happened.
You got a little
Yeah.
earlier involved because of that.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So the piano came, and I just loved it.
Let's
Never
talk about
stopped.
some things you were doing before the Half Step Project. Let's talk about, you've been in this band a year now.
About a year, yeah.
What were you doing before this project musically?
I was in some progressive rock things. I was in a band called Star People. Besides the bands that Tommy had mentioned, this was after that. And I was with an old-time blues band called the New York City Blues Devils.
The Blues Devils?
Yeah.
You were with those boys?
Yep. We were in the kind of vaudeville burlesque circuit for years.
I remember
in
the
city.
project. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
the band. Very cool, man.
So-
Very cool. You make a great addition to this thing, man.
Thank you.
The two of you. Love what you guys are all about. Great dynamic to this project.
Thanks so much.
Scott, the Doc TREIBETZ on the keys. We thank you, sir. Scott, Mr. BARDOLD.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, my man?
I'm good.
I think it's time to put you people back to work.
Going back to work.
Let's jump into another one. Let's take advantage of the time while we got it and try and get in a few more as we like to do and keep it happening. What are we doing next?
We want to introduce the lady in this next one, Cindy Lopez.
Hello, Miss Lopez. The heart and soul of the project, I can see.
No,
Yes. What do you mean, no? Absolutely.
I'm the icing on the
We've
cake.
all got
You're the
faces.
icing on the
We've
cake?
got faces for radio. She's built for TV.
I can appreciate that. Which I'm glad we're doing. Listen, let's get a nice zoom in on Cindy for the rest of the show if we can. You guys good? We're going to come back and chat with you shortly. Let's get into the tune. We'll come back and chat with the lovely and talented Cindy Lopez. You people good to go? Yep. Cindy, you want to tell me what we're doing next?
You ain't woman enough to take my man.
Sounds like a game plan. Well, I'm going to sit down over here and let you guys do your thing. Before you do, let me say this. Once again, on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we need to keep things moving with this week's featured artist. This is Half Step.
You come to tell me something. You say I ought to know that he don't love me anymore, and I'll have to let him go. Well, you say you wanna take him, oh, but I don't
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Half Step, featuring Cindy Lopez, lead vocals on that. Very nice, Cindy.
Thank you.
How are you? Welcome to our show. It's good to have you.
Good to be here.
And you and I just realized recently that we are friends with one another, apparently, through this amazing entity they
Allegedly
call
from
Facebook.
Facebook,
I don't even
yes.
think it's allegedly, because I've seen Cindy Lopez posts, and I think you told me earlier you've seen some Blues Warehouse posts.
I definitely have.
The only way we see each other's posts is if one of us accepted the other one as friends.
True.
So, how are you, my friend?
Good to finally meet you.
You too, face to face, and what a tremendous talent you are. A
thank
great
you.
addition to this project. Let's talk about some history with you, regards to that lovely vocal on you. When did you start singing to the public?
Not until 23 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm
So-
a late bloomer like
So
Scott.
that's about another two. That's about another 2 years from now.
No. I think I'm going on my 19th year of
19th year?
performing
Wait a minute.
in public. You
I'm
know.
bad at math.
Yes.
But are you claiming that you started at 23? that was. I get the point.
That wasn't me.
I get. It wasn't you.
Yeah.
He's telling me I'm stepping over my boundaries here. That's what that was. You've been. This is not your first rodeo, so to speak. You've been singing
no.
for a while now.
Yes. Trial by Fire, live. And just recently, I'm getting good enough to be recorded. So that's great.
What made you decide in your early 20s that was the time you were going to start doing this?
I'm going to tell you right now, it was the Grateful Dead. It was Grateful
Seriously?
Dead music, yeah.
Seems to be a bit of a common denominator for
Yeah.
you people tonight.
Were it not for the Dead having Donna, I probably would not have done this. I wouldn't even know that I could do this.
Really? Mm-hmm. So how'd you get involved in this band with these guys? Who'd you cross paths with first to finally get involved in this project?
I believe it was Tom. I came down to see the band. I thought they were fantastic. And to my dismay, they did not need me because they had all the vocals covered. And the second time I went to go see them, it was, I think, Tom's first show, one of his first shows. And we have a mutual friend in common, his now wife, Rose. And I invited him to come sing with me one night, and we just clicked. It was beautiful. And then he said, come on down to Half Step. And I did. And the rest is history.
So you've been in this band only for about a year now?
A year and a half-ish.
What were you doing before this project in terms of music?
Just before this, I was singing jazz and blues in a duo situation.
What was that project called?
It was myself and Bobby Sexton.
Bobby Sexton.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So-
I do another radio show with Stony Brook with the handsome Mark Green that did the one-liner earlier that I'm sure most of you know. And in the Blues News, I announce the events taking place for the week, and Bobby Sexton's always in the Blues News.
Oh, yes.
So we always get his name out there with things that he's doing around Long Island. I haven't seen any Cindy Lopez, Bobby Sexton plugs to promote.
Yeah, lately I've been very busy with this band
With the Half Step
and
band.
other big bands. So, but I love Bobby, and I cannot wait. We'll definitely be playing again this year.
Well, you make a tremendous addition to this project and any other project you touch, I'm guessing. I look forward to seeing a lot more of you with this project and other things that you do.
Thank
Do you
so
have
much.
anything in the works with the other band in terms of? Do you gig actively with the other project with Bobby now, or?
We haven't really been gigging actively, only because he's been busy with his trio, and I've been busy being a part of a bigger band now. But we always want to find an excuse to play, and I'm sure we'll fill up probably Vineyards something this summer.
Do you play an instrument?
I just started learning guitar this year.
Are you going to look to in the future maybe do some singer-songwriter type things?
Oh, absolutely, I do write.
You do, which was my next question.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we're always promoting the singer-songwriter types as well, and I'd love to talk to you about that more in the future with other things that you do musically.
Oh,
So
absolutely, that would be great.
please keep us posted on that. The lovely and talented Cindy Lopez, lead vocals. Thank you so much. Scott Bardolf. See, I keep changing it up, man. It's Bardolf. I got to work on that. Once the show's done, I'm going to have it perfect, and I'm going to be saying it in my sleep. And I'm going to be calling you all up in the middle of the night pronouncing your names. But I say we put you people back to work. Let's jump into another one. Let's keep it moving and take advantage of the time and show Long Island and the rest of the world why you guys are as talented as you are. What are we doing next?
Tom's going to sing this next one.
What are we doing, Tom?
Song. Oh, why don't you introduce it, Tom?
It's called Loser.
You talking to me?
It's open for its own interpretations, I
That's
guess.
what I get for the way I conducted myself with the lovely Cindy.
No, it was perfect.
I'm teasing
You're
you.
winning.
Another story for another time. You people good to go? Yes. Well, let me say this. Long Island Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with half step.
If I had a gun for every ace I've drawn, I can arm a town the size of Abilene. Don't you push me, baby, 'cause I'm moaning low. And you know I'm only in it for the gold. All that I am asking for is 10 gold dollars. I could pay you back with one good hand. You can look around about the wide world over, and you'll never find another honest man. Let's fair deal in the country. Let's fair deal in the town. Push your gold money where your love is, baby, before you let my deal go down. Go down. Don't you push me, baby, 'cause I'm in low. And I know a little something you won't never know. Don't you touch hard liquor, just a cup of cold coffee. I'm gonna get up in the morning and go. Everybody's playing and drinking that wine. I could tell the queen of diamonds by the way she shines. Come to daddy on an inside street. Well, I've got no chance of losing this time. Well, I've got no chance of losing this time. Well, I've got no chance of losing this time.
Everybody's playing and drinking that wine. I can tell the queen of diamonds by the way she shines. Come to daddy on an inside street, but I've got no chance of losing this time. Well, I've got no chance of losing this time. Well, I've got no chance of losing this time.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Half Step. Nicely done, people. Nicely done indeed. Let's grab Ron Cohen on the drum kit.
Hey.
If we can for a minute. How you doing, Ron?
Good. How are you, Mark?
How do you say that last name? Cohen?
Yeah, Cohen
That's a
and
tough one,
Filippo
man.
Cohen.
I'm having trouble with everybody else's last name. Might as well have it with yours as well.
Smith.
What? Smythe? What? It's good to see you, Ron.
It's good to be here, man.
Let's talk about the history with you. Let's start with the kit when you began. How old were you?
First gig, bar gig, 12 years old.
No, first gig, did you say?
That's right.
Let's rewind a little bit to the first time you got behind a kit and decided this is something you wanted to do.
Probably about 10 years old with a bunch of 14-year-olds. By the time they turned 16, the drinking age was 18. You could sneak your way into a bar and start playing.
What was the influence for you that this was something you wanted to do? What made you decide you wanted to head into the direction of the kit?
It just was a natural fit for me, playing Kiss at 6 and with my friends that I sat on the armchair with the textbooks, and that was it. That was over. 6 years old.
That was it for you, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about junior high, high school days. What were you doing musically? Garage bands?
Covers, yeah.
All right. What kind of music are you playing back in those days?
Stuff that we thought was really smart and great.
What'd you call smart and great at the time?
Rush and Yes and things like that.
It still is today.
Yeah.
Still is today.
It's great stuff.
That's timeless material there, my man.
It's the best.
You still enjoy playing that stuff today?
Yeah, but I don't do it as much.
All right.
I
Because you're
do
busy
this.
doing dead stuff.
Yeah, I like this.
That's all right.
It's a little freer.
It certainly is. Yeah. It certainly is. How long have you been a half stepper?
4 years.
You've been 4 years in this band.
Yeah,
Very
I'm one
nice,
of the
man.
old timers.
How'd you get involved in this project? Who recruited you?
I was looking for a band like this, and almost the day I decided that, they had a gig in my area, which they don't do that much, up in Westchester County. And I just stalked them for a few months, and here we are, 4 years later.
The rest is history.
That's it.
Doing a hell of a job with the Skins, my man.
Thank you.
Hell of a job. Always enjoy watching you do your thing.
Thank you.
Let's grab Craig Privet for a second, if he'll head on up to Scott's mic. How you doing, Craig?
Good, sir. How are you?
You're developing some frequent flyer miles with us here on the Blues Warehouse.
Actually, I'm just a hologram, so
I'm happy
really
to say.
not even here.
Is that what it is?
Yes, it is.
One of those Star Wars things?
Yes.
Pretty cool, man.
It
Pretty
is pretty
cool.
cool.
You look like you're actually there.
I am there.
But then
Been
again,
there
that brownie I ate earlier.
well, that's what we do to everyone.
Well, it works. It works, because I'm thinking I'm the hologram. But
we're all just holograms, really.
How long have you been a part of the Half Step Project?
Maybe about 8 months.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. I came in a little late.
Okay.
And to be honest, I've always wanted to play in a Grateful Dead tribute band since I was like 15, 16, when I really got into the Dead.
Well, when you were 15 and 16, didn't you want to actually play with the Dead?
Yes, I did. But, you know.
You knew that wasn't going to
perhaps
happen.
it was the brownies that didn't make it happen. I don't know.
You said to yourself, that ain't never going to happen. I got to find a Dead tribute band.
Exactly. And plus, Phil Lesh had it covered quite nicely, you know. So, but I've always been a big fan of his because he's not your basic bass player. He approaches it completely different than your, average player. He plays completely different, syncopated, melodically, a lot of classical influence. But, that's so I've always been into him, so.
Very cool. Well, you're holding down the bottom end real well, my man.
Thank you, sir.
We had you in here a couple of weeks ago with Pam Betty.
That's right.
And those that want to get some history on Craig, I encourage you to go check out the Pam Betty show. Click on Craig Privet, and you'll get all the history on his beginnings, growing up into the fine musician he is today. So
thank you, sir.
We appreciate it, Craig. Craig Privet on the bass. Scott Bardolph. I did it right that time, man.
Yeah,
it rolled off the tongue nice.
Sound like a teacher I used to have.
Is that right? I won't make a habit of that. We got time for two more.
Great.
Let's get into another one. We'll do our goodbyes, and then you boys will play us out.
Cool.
What do we...
We're going to do a song called I Need a Miracle.
You good to go?
We're good to go.
Once again, on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we got to keep it moving with Half Step.
I need a woman about twice my age, a lady of nobility, gentility, and rage. Splendor in the dark, lightning on the draw. We'll go right through the book and break each and every law. I got a feeling today, oh yeah, yeah. Just one thing that I got to say, I need a miracle every day. I need a woman about twice my height, a statuesque raven dress, goddess of the night. The secret incantations, a candle burning blue. Looking so the spirits, maybe they'll know what to do. Well, it's real, this feeling today, oh yeah. Can't get around it, and I can't run away. I need a miracle every day. Freight. Find her in a sideshow, leave her in L.A. Riding like a surfer, riding on a tidal wave. But it's real, just feel it today, oh hey. Can't get around it, and I can't run away. I need a miracle every day. It takes dynamite to get me up. Too much of everything is just enough. I just got to say, I need a miracle every day. Need a miracle every day. Every day. Need a miracle every day. Some kind of miracle. Need a miracle every day. Hey, hey, hey. I need a miracle. I need a miracle every day. I need a miracle every day. Listen what I say. I need a miracle every day. Some kind of miracle. I need a miracle every day. I need a miracle.
Very nice. This week's featured artist, Half Step. Scott, please share with us the website so people can follow Half Step.
The website is halfstepgd.com.
Now the people are grabbing a pen because they want to write that down.
Halfstepgd, like Grateful Dead.
That makes sense. You had to think about that for a second, huh?
I was going to use something else, but yeah, it's gd.com and Facebook as well. That's really starting to take over for the website. So like us on Facebook, and you'll find dates and videos, all sorts of stuff over there.
Very cool, my man. Very cool.
Also Reverb Nation.
Oh, you're on Reverb Nation as well, as you should be. As you definitely should be. Very cool, very cool. On the bass over here, we got to thank Mr. Craig Privet. Craig, thank you so much. We got to thank on rhythm guitar, Mr. Scott Bardoff, rhythm guitar and vocals. Thank you again, Scott. Back there on the drum kit, we got to thank Mr. Ron Cohen. Thank you, sir. Let's head over to the other guitar player, Mr. Tom Sam Sanfilippo on lead guitar and vocals.
Thank you, guys.
On the keys, we got to thank Scott Doc TREIBETZ. Thank you, sir. And last but certainly not least, the lovely and talented Cindy Lopez, lead vocals. Thank you so much, Cindy. It was a pleasure having you people in here. You boys and girls are going to play us out, but before you do, Mark Green from WUSB Stony Brook, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Mark. Please remember to check out EKO Studios at ekoproductions.com. They are the official studio of the Long Island Blues Warehouse.
Fellow DJ from WUSB Stony Brook, thank you, sir. Scott, you good to go?
We're good to go.
Well, I'm going to say it one more time. Please say goodbye, if you would, to this week's featured artist. Once again, this is Half Step.
Please don't dominate the rap chat if you've got nothing new to say. If you please don't back up that track, this train's got to run today. Spent a little time on the mountain, spent a little time on the hill. Heard some say better run away, others say better stand still. Now I don't know, but I was told it's hard to run with the weight of gold. Other hand, I heard it said it's just as hard with the weight of lead. Who can deny, who can deny, it's not just a change in style. One step down and another be gone, and I wonder how many miles. Spent a little time on the mountain, spent a little time on the hill. Saw some things getting out of hand, I guess they always will. Now I don't know, but I was told in the heat of the sun a man died of cold. Keep on coming and spending weight with the sun so dark and the hour so late. You can overlook the light jack of any other highway to ride. It's got no signs or dividing lines and very few rules to guide. Spent a little time on the mountain, spent a little time on the hill. What's up there? I don't understand. Guessing time we will. Now I don't know, but I was told if the horse don't pull, you gotta carry the load. But I don't know whose back's that strong. Maybe find out before too long. One way or another,